Now, once welcomed as the voice of truth and fairness, the public eyewitness to history, journalists today have now become targets, with attacks no longer limited to conflict zones. Journalists who are covering the horror unfolding in West Asia are now becoming targets in the war. And according to Reporters Without Borders, a Reuters journalist who was killed in strikes near the Israel-Lebanon border was deliberately targeted along with 6 other media workers who were injured in the attacks. And the journalist who lost his life while covering the war was 37-year-old journalist Wissam Abdallah, and he was killed in southern Lebanon on October 13th while covering the fighting between Israel's military and the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah. Meanwhile, 6 other journalists, including Al Jazeera's camera person and reporter, were wounded when 2 rounds of munitions hit the village in a quick succession. According to Reporters Without Borders, the initial findings of the investigations show that the reporters were not collateral victims of the shooting, but they were in fact the targets, further adding that one of the vehicles marked with press was targeted during the conflict. The report also stated that the investigation is still continuing. While they did not directly attribute responsibility to Israel, the Press Freedom Advocacy Organization said that journalists had witnessed Israeli military helicopters near the scene and the strikes had come from the direction of Israeli border. Now, Lebanon's army and government have blamed Israel for Abdallah's death, and a Lebanese military source told Reuters that the claim is supported by a technical on-the-ground assessment carried out after the attack. The Israeli army are yet to respond to a request for comments, and they have also not acknowledged responsibility for the attacks. Now, but a spokesperson previously said that officials were very sorry for Abdallah's death and were looking into it. Now, last week, the wife, son, daughter and grandson of WION The World, Al Jazeera's Arabic bureau chief in Gaza, was killed in an Israeli airstrike at a refugee camp in central Gaza. Now, the investigation comes at a time when, according to the health ministry in the Hamas-governed Gaza Strip, has at least 34 Palestinian journalists where they have been killed in Israeli air attacks. And according to the International Federation of Journalists, at least 4 Israeli journalists have been killed and 1 retired journalist captured in Hamas's surprise attack.